In the quiet town of Cedarville, nestled between rolling hills and surrounded by lush forests, lived a man named Patrick. He was an unassuming figure, a man in his early 50s, with salt and pepper hair that hinted at the wisdom of his years. Patrick was known for his love of the outdoors, a passion that had guided his life's journey and brought him closer to the natural world that surrounded his picturesque home. The seasons in Cedarville were marked not by calendar dates, but by the changing colors of the leaves. In the spring, Patrick reveled in the vibrant hues of wildflowers that painted the meadows near his house. Summer saw him leading expeditions into the dense woods, teaching his children and their friends about the secrets hidden within the trees and streams. Autumn was a symphony of rustling leaves and crisp air, an invitation for Patrick to embark on long walks through the town's idyllic park. It was during one of these autumn strolls that Patrick first noticed something amiss. A persistent cough had crept into his daily routine, a nagging annoyance that grew more insistent with each passing week. At first, he brushed it off as a minor inconvenience, the result of seasonal allergies or a passing cold. But as the days turned into weeks, the cough refused to relent. It persisted like a stubborn guest who had overstayed their welcome. As autumn leaves gave way to winter's chill, Patrick's concern grew. Not only did the cough persist, but he also found himself struggling to catch his breath during his beloved walks in the park. It was as if the crisp, clean air that had always invigorated him had turned into an adversary, conspiring to steal away his ability to enjoy the simple pleasures he held dear. Nights became restless for Patrick. He would lie in bed, listening to the rhythmic ticking of the old grandfather clock that stood in the corner of his bedroom. Thoughts raced through his mind, and worry gnawed at him like a persistent itch. Something was wrong, he knew it, and he couldn't ignore it any longer. With each passing night, Patrick's determination to uncover the source of his ailment grew stronger. He couldn't bear the thought of letting his family down, of missing out on the joyous days spent in the embrace of nature, or of being a burden to those he loved. And so, one morning, as the winter sun cast long shadows over Cedarville, Patrick made a decision that would set the course for the journey that lay ahead. He resolved to see a doctor. In this story of courage, hope, and the indomitable human spirit, we follow Patrick's journey as he takes that crucial step toward seeking medical help, unlocking a path that will lead him to discover the unexpected, the challenges he never anticipated, and ultimately, the strength within himself to face an uncertain future. Join us as we delve into the chapters of Patrick's life, where we will witness not only his struggle against a formidable adversary but also the unwavering support of his loved ones, and the guidance of dedicated healthcare professionals. Together, we will learn valuable lessons about the fragility of life, the importance of early detection, and the resilience of the human soul.
Chapter 1: Patrick's Concern. In the heart of Cedarville, where the streets bore witness to the changing seasons and the tight-knit community lived in harmony with nature, Patrick's concern became an unspoken presence in his life. The autumn leaves had fallen, leaving a carpet of fiery reds and golden yellows in their wake. It was a season that usually filled Patrick's heart with joy, but this year, it was different. As he took his daily walk through Cedarville Park, a place he had come to regard as a second home, Patrick couldn't help but notice how the crunching of leaves underfoot was accompanied by something else, a persistent, raspy cough that seemed to emanate from deep within his chest. At first, he dismissed it as an annoyance, a minor inconvenience that would surely subside on its own. But days turned into weeks, and the cough did not waver. It was a stubborn companion that clung to him like a shadow, a reminder of something amiss in his once healthy body. As the leaves on the trees transformed from brilliant shades to skeletal remnants, Patrick's unease grew. He found himself coughing more frequently, especially in the crisp, cool air of Cedarville's autumn afternoons. The park, once a place of solace and serenity, had become a source of frustration for Patrick. He would stand beneath the towering oak trees, their branches now bare, and try to catch his breath. It was a cruel irony that the very air he had always drawn strength from was now taunting him, leaving him breathless and bewildered. Nights were the hardest for Patrick. As he lay in bed, the echoes of his persistent cough reverberated in the silence of his room. The ticking of the grandfather clock, a cherished heirloom passed down through generations, seemed to mock him, counting the seconds as if time itself was slipping through his fingers. Patrick's thoughts were a turbulent sea during those sleepless nights. He worried about his family, his wife, and their children who depended on him. Would he become a burden to them? Would he be forced to relinquish the simple joys they had always shared, long hikes, cozy evenings by the fireplace, and the promise of a bright future together? It was during one such restless night, as the moon bathed Cedarville in its soft, silvery glow, that Patrick made a decision. He couldn't let this cough, this invisible adversary, define his life. He had always been a man of action, a believer in facing challenges head-on. And so, with the resolve that had guided him through life's trials, he knew it was time to seek answers. In the following days, Patrick's concern transformed into determination. He made an appointment with his family doctor, a trusted figure in Cedarville who had cared for his family for generations. As he embarked on the path towards seeking medical help, Patrick had no way of knowing the twists and turns that lay ahead, the revelations that awaited him, and the profound impact his decision would have on his life and the lives of those he held dear.
Chapter 2: The Doctor's Visit. With the autumn leaves now a distant memory, Cedarville embraced the quiet serenity of winter. The town streets glistened with a delicate layer of snow, and the air was crisp, carrying with it the promise of a fresh start. For Patrick, it was a season of change, a season of hope, as he embarked on a journey that would lead him to the doctor's office. The day of Patrick's appointment arrived, and as he walked into the familiar waiting room of Dr. Harper's practice, he couldn't help but feel a mix of apprehension and anticipation. The walls were adorned with serene landscape paintings, perhaps chosen to calm the nerves of patients like him. The soft hum of a gentle melody played in the background, offering a soothing backdrop to his thoughts. After a brief wait, the receptionist called Patrick's name, and he made his way to the doctor's examination room. Dr. Harper, a warm and compassionate presence in the town, greeted Patrick with a smile. The doctor had cared for generations of Cedarville residents and had a reassuring way of putting her patients at ease. Patrick took a seat, and with a deep breath, he began to share his concerns with the doctor. He described the persistent cough that had become a daily companion, the cough that seemed to have a life of its own. He spoke of how it had grown worse over time, interfering with his cherished walks in the park and robbing him of the simple joys of life.
Dr. Harper listened attentively, her years of experience allowing her to pick up on the nuances of Patrick's distress. She asked him questions about the duration and intensity of the cough, any associated symptoms, and whether he had a history of smoking or exposure to harmful substances. Patrick answered truthfully, appreciating the doctor's thoroughness. As Dr. Harper continued her inquiry, she noted the concern in Patrick's eyes and the uncertainty that clouded his face. She had seen this look before in patients facing the unknown, and she knew that her role was not just to diagnose and treat, but also to provide comfort and guidance. After the discussion, Dr. Harper decided to conduct a physical examination. She listened carefully to Patrick's chest with her stethoscope, asking him to take deep breaths. The room seemed to hold its breath as the doctor focused on her evaluation, her expression giving nothing away. With the examination complete, Dr. Harper maintained her composure as she informed Patrick that further investigation was needed to determine the cause of his symptoms. She explained that his cough, especially when combined with difficulty breathing, was a reason for concern. It was a moment that hung in the air, heavy with the weight of uncertainty. The doctor's words, while unsettling, also held a glimmer of hope. Patrick had taken the first step in confronting his ailment, and Dr. Harper's dedication to her patients was unwavering. As he left the doctor's office that day, Patrick carried with him a sense of resolve. He had embarked on a path that would lead to answers, and little did he know that the next chapters of his life would be defined by resilience, the support of loved ones, and the dedication of healthcare professionals who would stop at nothing to uncover the truth.
Chapter 3: The Doctor's Examination. As Patrick stepped out of Dr. Harper's office, the brisk winter air felt invigorating against his cheeks. He couldn't shake the mix of emotions that swirled within him: relief at finally seeking medical help, anxiety about what lay ahead, and a glimmer of hope that he might soon uncover the source of his persistent cough and breathing difficulties. In the days that followed, Patrick found himself waiting with bated breath for the call from Dr. Harper's office. His mind was a whirlwind of questions, and he couldn't help but second-guess the decision he had made to confront his health concerns. Nevertheless, he remained steadfast in his commitment to understanding and overcoming whatever ailment had taken hold of his body. One morning, as Patrick sat at the kitchen table with a steaming cup of tea, his phone rang. The caller ID displayed Dr. Harper's name, and his heart skipped a beat as he answered the call. The doctor's gentle voice on the other end reassured him, and she informed him that it was time for the next step in their journey to uncover the truth. A few days later, Patrick returned to Dr. Harper's office for the next chapter in his quest for answers. The examination room remained a sanctuary of calm, its walls adorned with serene paintings that seemed to offer solace in the face of uncertainty. Patrick took his seat, and the doctor joined him, her expression a blend of empathy and determination. Dr. Harper explained that, in order to get a clearer picture of what was happening in Patrick's lungs, she would need to perform a series of tests. These tests were designed to uncover any underlying issues that might be causing his persistent symptoms. She assured Patrick that they were taking the necessary steps to ensure his health and well-being. The doctor began the examination by once again listening to Patrick's chest with her stethoscope, paying close attention to the sounds of his breathing. As she did so, Patrick couldn't help but feel a sense of vulnerability. It was as if his very breath was being scrutinized, each inhale and exhale a potential clue in the puzzle of his health. After the physical examination, Dr. Harper explained the tests she had prescribed. These included a chest X-ray, a CT scan of the lungs, and a sputum cytology test. Patrick listened attentively, absorbing the information as he prepared himself for the series of diagnostic procedures that would follow. With a reassuring smile, Dr. Harper emphasized the importance of these tests in uncovering the root cause of Patrick's symptoms. She explained that they needed a comprehensive view of his lung health to make an accurate diagnosis and develop a treatment plan tailored to his needs. As Patrick left the doctor's office that day, he carried with him a sense of purpose. The path to understanding his condition was unfolding, one test at a time. While the uncertainty still loomed like a shadow, he knew that every step forward was a step closer to clarity. The next chapters of his life would be defined by patience, resilience, and the unwavering commitment of his medical team to unravel the mystery that had gripped his lungs.
Chapter 4: Suspicions Arise. The days in Cedarville trudged forward as Patrick awaited the results of the tests ordered by Dr. Harper. Winter's embrace tightened around the town, blanketing it in snow and muffling the sounds of everyday life. Yet, within Patrick's heart, a different kind of chill had settled, a chill of uncertainty and apprehension. Weeks passed, marked by the rhythmic ticking of the grandfather clock in Patrick's home, a constant reminder of the passage of time. Each passing day seemed to stretch into an eternity as he replayed the moments of his doctor's visits and the words Dr. Harper had spoken. The tests would reveal the truth, but the truth, he knew, was a double-edged sword. One gray morning, the call from Dr. Harper's office came. Patrick's hands trembled as he answered, his voice betraying the anxiety that had become his constant companion. The nurse on the other end delivered the news: his test results were in, and the doctor wanted to see him as soon as possible. With a sense of foreboding, Patrick made his way to the doctor's office. The waiting room, once a haven of tranquility, now seemed to hum with unspoken tension. Dr. Harper's calm demeanor did little to ease the knot that had formed in Patrick's stomach. He took a seat, and the doctor joined him, her eyes filled with compassion. With a measured tone, Dr. Harper began to explain the results of the tests. The chest X-ray had revealed a shadowy area in one of Patrick's lungs, an area that shouldn't have been there. The CT scan provided a more detailed view, confirming the presence of a mass, a tumor. The word hung in the air, heavy with implications. Patrick's heart sank, and he struggled to process the information. Lung cancer, a diagnosis he had feared but dared not speak aloud, had now become a stark reality. Dr. Harper continued to speak, her voice a beacon of knowledge and support in the storm of emotions that raged within Patrick. She explained that the sputum cytology test had confirmed the presence of cancerous cells in the sample, further solidifying the diagnosis. The truth was undeniable, and Patrick had to confront it head-on. In that moment, as Patrick absorbed the weight of the diagnosis, the suspicions that had been lurking in the corners of his mind now took center stage. The persistent cough, the shortness of breath, they were no longer mere inconveniences. They were symptoms of a battle being waged within his own body, a battle against a formidable adversary. Dr. Harper's words offered a glimmer of hope amid the darkness. She explained that they had caught the cancer in its early stages, a crucial factor in the journey toward recovery. Patrick's prognosis was uncertain, but the medical team was committed to exploring treatment options and providing him with the best care possible. As Patrick left the doctor's office that day, he carried with him a mix of emotions: fear, anger, sadness, and a newfound determination. The suspicions that had arisen were now confirmed, but with that confirmation came the opportunity to fight, to face the challenges that lay ahead, and to embrace the support of his loved ones and the guidance of his medical team. The road ahead would be arduous, but Patrick was resolved to travel it with courage and resilience, determined to find his way back to health and to the simple joys of life that he held dear.
Chapter 5: The Tests. In the wake of the life-altering diagnosis, Patrick found himself thrust into a whirlwind of medical appointments, consultations, and a battery of tests. Cedarville, once a tranquil haven, now echoed with the clamor of uncertainty and the relentless pursuit of answers. The first test on the horizon was the chest X-ray, a procedure that would provide the initial glimpse into the shadowy depths of Patrick's lungs. As he stood before the X-ray machine, the room seemed to close in around him. The technician, with a reassuring smile, positioned him carefully, ensuring the images captured would reveal the truth hidden within. The X-ray itself was a quick and painless procedure. Patrick held his breath as the machine hummed to life, emitting a burst of radiation that pierced through his chest. It was as if his very essence had been imprinted onto the film, his hopes and fears encapsulated in those fleeting moments. Days passed, marked by anxious anticipation, until the day of reckoning arrived. Patrick returned to Dr. Harper's office, a sense of trepidation gnawing at him. The X-ray images, now developed and scrutinized by experts, unveiled a stark reality: a shadow, an abnormality that shouldn't be there, lurking in his lung. The chest X-ray was just the beginning. Dr. Harper explained that a more detailed view was needed to fully understand the nature and extent of the anomaly. That's when she prescribed the CT scan, a comprehensive imaging test that would provide a deeper dive into Patrick's lung health. The day of the CT scan was a symphony of anxiety and hope. Patrick lay on the examination table, his heart pounding in rhythm with the whirring of the machine that surrounded him. The room was cold, sterile, and filled with the scent of antiseptic. It was a stark contrast to the warmth and vibrancy of the town he called home. As the CT scanner moved silently around him, capturing cross-sectional images of his chest, Patrick closed his eyes and focused on his breath. He imagined the scan as a key that would unlock the secrets hidden within his body. With each passing moment, the images unfolded like chapters in a story, revealing the contours of his lungs and the presence of the ominous mass. Days turned into weeks, and Patrick awaited the results with bated breath. Dr. Harper, ever the harbinger of information, called him once again to her office. The CT scan had confirmed what the X-ray had hinted at: an abnormal mass, a tumor, nestled within his lung. To further solidify the diagnosis, Dr. Harper ordered a sputum cytology test. This involved collecting a sample of Patrick's sputum, the mucus he occasionally coughed up, and examining it under a microscope. It was a meticulous process, one that would reveal the presence of cancerous cells if they were present. Patrick, now a willing participant in this unfolding medical drama, provided the sputum sample with a sense of resignation. It felt like a piece of his vulnerability laid bare, exposed to the scrutiny of scientific analysis. The day of reckoning for the sputum cytology test arrived. Dr. Harper, with a sense of compassion that had become her trademark, delivered the results. The test had indeed confirmed the presence of cancerous cells within Patrick's sputum, leaving no room for doubt. In that moment, as Patrick absorbed the weight of the confirmation, he knew that the path ahead was fraught with challenges. The tests, while revealing, were but the prologue to a story of resilience, determination, and unwavering support that would define the chapters of his life. Armed with knowledge and the commitment of his medical team, Patrick was prepared to face whatever lay ahead in the battle against the formidable adversary within him.
Chapter 6: The Diagnosis. The diagnosis of lung cancer had cast a shadow over Patrick's life, enveloping him in a veil of uncertainty and fear. Cedarville, once a place of comfort and familiarity, now felt like an unfamiliar landscape, its streets filled with unanswered questions. After the series of tests that had revealed the tumor in Patrick's lung, Dr. Harper called him back to her office for a pivotal discussion, one that would define the direction of his journey towards recovery. Patrick entered the office with a sense of trepidation, his heart heavy with the knowledge that the news would be difficult to bear. Dr. Harper greeted him with a warm but solemn smile, a reflection of her empathy for the heavy burden her patient now carried. With a measured and compassionate tone, Dr. Harper began to explain the diagnosis. She confirmed that the tests, including the chest X-ray, the CT scan, and the sputum cytology, had all pointed to one undeniable truth: Patrick had lung cancer. The word hung in the air like a heavy fog, its weight pressing down on Patrick's chest. He could feel his world shifting beneath his feet, his reality reshaped by those 5 letters. Lung cancer, a formidable adversary that had silently infiltrated his body, laying siege to his health. As Dr. Harper spoke, she explained the nature of the cancer, its location within his lung, and the need for further evaluation to determine the specific type and stage of the disease. Patrick listened intently, his mind racing with questions about what lay ahead. The doctor emphasized the importance of early detection, a glimmer of hope amid the darkness of the diagnosis. They had caught the cancer in its early stages, and this offered a better chance for treatment and recovery. The path ahead would be challenging, but there was room for optimism. Patrick, though overwhelmed by the weight of the diagnosis, felt a flicker of resolve ignite within him. He knew that this chapter in his life would be defined not only by the challenges he faced, but also by his determination to confront them head-on. Dr. Harper outlined the next steps in their journey. It would involve consultations with specialists, including oncologists and surgeons, to determine the most appropriate treatment plan tailored to Patrick's specific case. The doctor assured him that he would have a dedicated medical team by his side, guiding him through the intricacies of treatment and recovery. With a heavy heart but a newfound determination, Patrick left the doctor's office that day. The diagnosis had set the stage for the chapters of his life that would follow, chapters marked by resilience, the unwavering support of loved ones, and the tireless dedication of healthcare professionals who would stand beside him in the battle against lung cancer. As he walked out into the quiet streets of Cedarville, the town he had known for so long felt different. Yet, in the midst of uncertainty, he held on to the belief that he could rewrite the story of his life, turning the page toward a future filled with hope and healing.
Chapter 7: A Plan for Recovery. With the weight of the lung cancer diagnosis pressing upon him, Patrick stood at the threshold of a new chapter in his life, a chapter that would be defined by resilience, hope, and the unwavering commitment to regain his health. Following the revelation of his diagnosis, Patrick found himself thrust into a world of medical consultations and treatment discussions. Dr. Harper, along with a team of specialists, played a pivotal role in charting his path towards recovery. The first consultation was with an oncologist, Dr. Rodriguez, a compassionate and experienced physician who specialized in cancer care. Sitting in the sterile examination room, Patrick listened as Dr. Rodriguez explained the nature of his lung cancer in more detail. It was a moment of overwhelming information, with medical terms and treatment options swirling around him. Dr. Rodriguez outlined the various treatment options available, including surgery, chemotherapy, radiation therapy, and targeted therapy. Each option came with its own set of considerations and potential side effects. Patrick, with a sense of determination, sought to understand his choices fully, aware that the decisions he made would shape his journey. Together with Dr. Rodriguez, Patrick crafted a personalized treatment plan, one that would involve a combination of surgery and chemotherapy. The surgery aimed to remove the tumor, while chemotherapy would target any remaining cancer cells and reduce the risk of recurrence. Patrick knew that this path would be arduous, but he also held on to the hope that it would lead him back to health. The next consultation introduced Patrick to Dr. Simmons, a skilled surgeon specializing in thoracic surgery. Dr. Simmons explained the surgical procedure in detail, addressing Patrick's concerns and offering reassurance. The surgery would involve the removal of the affected portion of his lung, a daunting prospect but a necessary step towards recovery. As the days turned into weeks, Patrick began his chemotherapy sessions, a journey marked by its own set of challenges. The sessions were administered at the Oncology Center, where Patrick found comfort in the support of the medical staff and the camaraderie of fellow patients who were also fighting their battles against cancer. The side effects of chemotherapy were challenging, and Patrick experienced fatigue, nausea, and hair loss. But he faced each session with unwavering resolve, knowing that it was a crucial part of his path to healing. Throughout his treatment, Patrick's support system played an indispensable role. His wife, Sarah, stood by his side, providing emotional strength and practical assistance.
Patrick knew that his journey towards recovery would be a test of his endurance, both physically and emotionally. The challenges that lay ahead were formidable, but he also recognized that he had taken the crucial step of seeking medical help in time, a decision that held the key to his potential triumph over lung cancer. Each day brought its own set of hurdles, but Patrick approached them with a spirit of resilience that surprised even him. He pushed through the fatigue that often accompanied chemotherapy, drawing strength from the love and support of his family and the expertise of his medical team. With every surgical procedure and chemotherapy session, Patrick felt a renewed sense of determination. He understood that these treatments were his allies in the battle against lung cancer, and he was willing to face their difficulties head-on to reclaim his health. The unwavering support of his family was a constant source of motivation. Sarah, his wife, stood by him with unwavering devotion, offering not only practical assistance but also a shoulder to lean on during the toughest moments. Their children, witnessing their father's strength in the face of adversity, learned valuable lessons about resilience and the power of love. Cedarville, too, played a pivotal role in Patrick's journey. The town's residents rallied around him, their acts of kindness and encouragement serving as a testament to the strength of their community. Patrick found solace in the familiar sights of the town, and he longed for the day when he could once again take those long walks in Cedarville Park, surrounded by the beauty of nature and the company of loved ones. Dr. Harper and the medical team became not just his healthcare providers but also his allies in the battle against cancer. Their expertise and unwavering dedication inspired confidence, and Patrick knew he was in capable hands. Their guidance and encouragement fueled his determination to protect his lungs and regain his health. As Patrick moved through the various stages of treatment, he couldn't help but reflect on the importance of early detection. He had sought medical help when he first noticed the persistent cough and shortness of breath, and it had made all the difference. His diagnosis had come in the early stages of the disease, providing a window of opportunity for effective treatment. With each passing day, Patrick's hope for the future burned brighter. He envisioned a life beyond cancer, a life where he could continue enjoying his time outdoors with his loved ones. The simple pleasures of a walk in the park, a picnic by the lake, and the laughter of his children playing in the yard were the dreams that kept him moving forward. Though the path ahead was still challenging, Patrick's determination and the unwavering support of those who loved him became the guiding stars of his journey. He knew that overcoming lung cancer would not be easy, but he held on to the belief that he would emerge from this chapter of his life stronger, and more appreciative of the precious moments spent in the embrace of nature and the company of his cherished family and friends.